heroes. Kazakis would love to put his name alongside those. Here we go then, Skyler Woodward, a true Mosconi Cup legend, back-to-back MVP. He's become a Premier League legend over these last couple of days.
Yeah, he's got on one of Skyler, hasn't he? From nowhere, fires his way straight up to the top of the leaderboard.
4 wins out of 4 on Friday. 4 wins out of 5 yesterday. He's won all 3 so far today. So he's currently on a run of 6 wins in a row. And since Friday morning, he's played a total of 12 matches and won 11 of them. And he could have won the other one as well. It was only 5-4. There's a flight from London to Dallas tomorrow. It's going to have an empty seat on it. Woodward, I think, didn't want to tempt fate by changing his flight until he knew he was around for the final day. He's made the switch now.
He's going to need a good shot here, though. He would have loved more angle. Problem now is he's going to have to play this harder or put a big stroke on this ball.
Extension, please.
Nice shot. Done well to get over to where he's got with the cue ball. Well, it didn't go in clean, but it's vanished. Any angle on the 8 ball should be good enough. Would like it off the rail, which it is. Might play for, if he can't get enough stun on this ball, he might actually play for the 9 in the bottom left pocket. Oh, well, he's took a little bit of a gamble, and that's fine, yeah. Played it high ball right. And it's the first rack to Woodward.
He's just in such a groove now, isn't he? So lots to play for here. Not so much on the other table. Not only are these two out, they both know exactly where they're going to finish. Fortunsky will be 9th, Sanchez Ruiz 8th. I don't think either of them will go away feeling any sort of despondency whatsoever. They both did very well to get through after making pretty wretched starts to the first phase. Almost a week ago now. And you got to say, Carl, they're both very capable players, obviously, but trying to get through to the final 6 against the sort of opposition they've been up against was a big ask anyway.
Yeah, they've done well to make it through the first stage. It was always going to be a tall order. But I'm sure they can go away with a little bit of pride.
Rack number 2, our current score is 1-0 in favor of Mr. Woodward. Mr. Kazakis to break.
Well, he's got a pot on the 1 ball. two balls a little awkward. Might go in the left centre pocket, but position is not easy. Also goes in the top left. They're the pockets that are available. May even squeeze past the 8, so we'll know in a minute when he plays this positional shot. Well, he's playing a combo, so that's also fine. Held it well.
He's had a pretty successful career so far. But probably the match he's best remembered for is one that he lost. The World Masters final against David Al-Qaedi. Back in 2019, he was 5-0 up, famously lost 9-8. I'm sure you know all about it now. You've probably seen the shot, even if you weren't watching at the time. Al-Qaedi, the length of the table bank shot. But roles could be reversed here, because if Kazakis does win, it will be Al-Qaedi who he knocks out.
That's not bad. It's worked out pretty well. He's got a nice angle on the pink 4. Can come over to the right side of the table. And he will have a pot on the purple 5 to the left corner. Yeah, that's very nice. Very nice indeed.
He's just kept chipping away all week, Kazakis. I think the defining passage of play in his campaign was yesterday, when after losing 5-0 to Albin Ocean in his first match of Phase 2, he then won all of his next 4 matches. Put him in a strong position going into today. Hasn't been so good. Did get a win over Jason Shaw, but he's lost his other 2 matches, including one against Mieszko Fortuński. That will have been a particular disappointment to him. And Alex Kazakis, who needs a win here to go through, has drawn level with Skyler Woodward at 1-all. Now, Carl, that competition we were running earlier, the question was who delivered the winning point for Europe at the Mosconi Cup at Alexandra Palace back in December, and of course the answer, Carl, was
Joshua Filler.
Would have been extremely embarrassing, I think, for both of us if you got that wrong. So well done to Jack Hughes. Jack got the answer right, and Jack has won that cue signed by all 10 of the players who made it through to the second phase. You've got world champions, US Open winners, Mosconi Cup heroes, 1 or 2 potential stars of the future have all signed their names on there. So well done, Jack. A cue for Hughes. And thanks to everyone who entered. These 2 names are on there. They won't be on the order of play for tomorrow, but they both want to sign off on a winning note. Mieszko Fortuński has taken that rack to lead Francisco Sanchez Ruiz 3-1.
Rack number 3. Currently, we're all tied at 1 game apiece.
Alex Kazakis started his Predator Premier League campaign against Skyler Woodward last Monday. If he loses this match, he'll be finishing against the same opponent. Got to win, and he's level.
Push out will be called.
Push out called.
Well, where do you push to here, Skyler? Doesn't seem a bad option. Leave the edge of the one.
Mr. Kazakis, your option.
So if you can only see the left side of the one, cross banking the one to the left side of the table is his only option. Got to be careful the one ball doesn't hit the four, and then he's got to get a good cue ball somewhere. So he spotted something because he's playing this shot.
Always gives absolute maximum effort, Kazakis. Battles for everything. Always seems to want to prove himself against the biggest names. Certainly did that when he won the World Masters last year. One of the players he beat along the way was Skyler Woodward in the quarters.
This isn't going to work. Kazakis has got a shot at this one. Now he does have to stun it round two rails. He's got to be a little bit careful because of the 7 and the 9 that he doesn't land behind it. Could actually hit the 7 in a way to pop the 9 in the side, but I mean, that's just ridiculous vision. Maybe you'd play that in an exhibition match for a bit of fun.
Mieszko Fortunski has just played probably his worst shot of the entire tournament. He missed a 2-ball by an absolute mile in the 5th rack against Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, who's now at the table trying to close to 3-2 down.
Well, I'll tell you who else has just played their worst shot of the entire tournament, and he said a naughty word in Greek.
How do you know what a naughty word is in Greek?
Fluent in Greek.
That's a conversation we'll be returning to. Big moments here to focus on. Magnificent.
Yeah, what a recovery as he slams the chalk on the rail. He knows the importance of this match, and you don't want to throw it away, do you?
Quite a contrast to his reaction to the previous shot when he was slapping himself in the head.
He's got into that a little bit too much, a bit of adrenaline, a bit of pressure, just overdrawn the cue ball back.
That was another look at that magic moment on the 4.
You can tell he's feeling it a little bit because you're hearing 10 seconds a lot, aren't you? Every shot, 10 seconds, 10 seconds.
Yeah, and he's clearly pouring everything into this. They're going to have to scrape him off the table here. He's got a great chance to make it to the final day. Got to win, and he leads 2-1. Carl Boyes confirmed during the break he definitely does not speak Greek, but he did know what that swear word meant. And Alex Kazakis said,
Mr. Kazakis.
it's not even 9 p.m. in the UK yet, so there's no way I'm giving you a translation. Kazakis, 2-1 up with the break.
Well, he's had a little bit of fortune there. For a second, it looked like he was going to have no shot on the 2. That bump on the 8 has allowed him a shot on the 2. The break, there's nothing you can do on the break. You often walk past practice rooms and things like this, and you do hear players talking about the break shot a lot, but, you know, pool's a game of, well, you break the balls, try and control the cue ball as good as you can, and the game starts after that, really. You've got to do whatever the table gives you and what you're faced with. That is what pool is about. So this is the table layout Kazakis is faced with. And it's as simple as, well, he's got to run the table. Played a nice positional shot there. They can often go wrong.
Talked about the practice tables. I think they've got screens down there, haven't they? And they can watch the action. I don't know, but I'll be pretty sure David O'Cady's there. Strange situation to be in, of course. Not able to do anything about his fate in the tournament, but he'll be pleased with the outcome of that.
Extension, please.
Now at this level, you should get close to potting the 5 ball. You really should. This is not a difficult shot to pot. He'll miss it if he goes rail ball first. That will push it towards the side rail. It was close, wasn't it? But it's not there. It's another mistake for Kazakis. He's feeling edgy.
Yeah, I said he's been chipping away, finding ways to win matches, which players often get criticised for in Q Sports, but it's a real asset, actually, to be able to get yourself out of a match with a win when you're not playing at your best. But he has played really well at times. Some of his performances have been top drawer. His win over Naoki Oi on Wednesday in particular was basically flawless.
That was a smart shot from Skyler. Played the cue ball with top spin, knowing full well if he hits the 6 full ball, the 9 will, well, it will cover. This could be interesting. If Kazakis goes for this shot off the rail he's playing, he might pot the 7 ball, the brown 7.
10 seconds.
It's not bad. Skyler's got a shot. Controlling the cue ball is going to be horrible. It's a thin snip. Ideally, he can put enough right English on this to go past the 8 off that side rail. And the cue ball would come off the bottom rail. But you've got to pot the 5 ball first, Skyler. Well, I'll call it. You play it, Skyler. Beautiful shot. Yeah, would have loved the cue ball to keep rolling, because he would have played for the 8 in the right side pocket, but now he can't. He's going to have to change his route. Well, how's it finished? How's it finished? He has a shot in the left centre. How much angle does he have?
It's very little coming easy to either player in this match. Oh, but the 9 could be pretty easy. The 9's going to be easy. Good effort this from Woodward. Having lost the previous 2 racks, he's won this one, so they're level again at 2 apiece. So much at stake. Woodward looking for points, can lead the table going into tomorrow. And Kazakis, win or bust, isn't it, in terms of still being around for the grand finale. Completely different story on the other table. These two bowing out of the tournament after this. They'll both mark it down as a good week. Move on from here. Set them up well for busy year ahead. All these matches they've had, and they've had reasonable success. 3-3 between Francisco Sanchez Ruiz and Mieszko Fortunski. How do you rate them as potential Mosconi Cup players at the end of the year, Carl? Much chance?
Well, you kind of feel they'd have to qualify through the rankings. It all depends on who makes the team through the rankings, really, because whoever captains the team, well, you do well to pick a rookie as a wild card. You really would. It would be a brave, brave move.
Rack number 5.
But
We're currently tied at 2 games apiece.
there's some crazy people out there, so we shall see.
And one of them's the vice captain, I've heard. Not confirmed, we should say, yet for 2022. Carl likes to play his cards close to his chest on that one. 2-2.
Needs the 8 ball to slow down This is tricky because I don't think it goes in the right centre. So potting it in the top right corner would offer no value for Woodward because of where the pink 4 is. This will give us an idea if it goes in the centre. Yeah, this is tricky.
Extension, please.
Looks like he's having a go at the carom to pot the 8 in the right centre. Well, that's what he's just lined up with his cue. Needs a bit of luck. Needs the 8 ball to come to the rescue. It isn't going to do it, so Kazakis, well, he's going to be happy with this leave. Just struggled with the pace the full match, hasn't he? That's just a sign of the nerves. Can't quite get the cue ball where he wants.
Oh yeah, it's been a real slog for him already. He won't care in the slightest if he's back here tomorrow. And just to reiterate, he will be if he wins this match. Mieszko Fortunski won't be either way. But he is now 4-3 up on Francisco Sanchez Ruiz.
Nicely done.
Seems to go through the horrors of anxiety. On almost every shot, you always see him almost freezing on the spot till the balls have come to rest.
He's got quite a big angle here, so he's got 2 options. He's got to try and hold the cue ball, or he's got to come over to the other side and back over. So he tries to hold, and he did a good job there.
Focus, the intensity is visible. Been hard work this, but steadily and surely he's got there. Alexander Kazakis leads once again at 3-2. He's 2 racks away from a place in the final day. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz scratched on the 2 in rack 8 against Mieszko Fortunski, is now at the table looking to apply the finishing touches here. Fortunski has already beaten the Spaniard once this week. 4 balls away from doing it again. A genuine dead match. Both going out, can't even affect their finishing position and their prize money. But when you've spent 7 days somewhere, you want to finish on a high. Scant consolation, but he'll take more comfort from his overall performance this week. Mieszko Fortunski has played 24 matches and has won 11 of them. He's signed off with a 5-3 win over FSR.
Lost the cue ball a little bit, arced it over towards the centre pocket. No shot on the 2 ball. Push out required. And again, it's a nasty little push.
Push out cold.
Should just wrap that up by saying, well, Fortunski finishes on 11 wins. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz finishes on 12th, on 12. So he's 8th. Fortunski ends up in 9th. Omar Al Shaheen in 10th.
Kazakis has left Woodward a little teaser here, hasn't he? It's thin, it's along the rail. Definitely goes. Skyler's going to struggle controlling the cue ball for the 3. So, Kazakis tempted Woodward there, and it's paid off. It's a good push in the end. One good positional shot here, and he would go favourite for the rack, and he would move on the hill. Again, if you've just tuned in, Kazakis wins this match. He's through to the final 6.
Yeah, and if he loses, David Al-Qaidi claims the last place instead.
Would have been kind of fitting if it was Sanchez playing Kazakis, wouldn't it? Nicely done.
If he does make the 6, nobody will have worked harder to get there.
That's nicely done. Prime position.
Does go 4-2, he'll have at least one more breaking rack. I say at least because he may not need it.
seconds.
Well, he left himself work on the 8, and it's caught up with him, Carl.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but this is why 4-inch pockets are a must.
We could be looking back on that as the key moment of the contest. Woodward has levelled at 3-3. What a finish in store. So late into this final day, we still don't know the identity of the last player who's going through. Those bottom 3 all heading home now. The 2 names at the top of that graphic, David O'Cady and Alex Kazakis, are locked in a battle, but only one of them can influence it. O'Cady has finished in a really good day today, but will it be enough? Alex Kazakis can still knock him out by winning against Skyler Woodward, who has his own incentives. Because if he wins the final match, he will go in to the last day on top of the table. 17 wins he'd be on. He might only need a couple more tomorrow from his 5 matches to get through to those semi-finals. Alban Ocean recovered things a bit at the end, didn't he? Incredibly, after winning his first 10 matches, his place in the final day was thrown into doubt. But he rounded things off well. Got through with a match to spare and then won his last match as well to get on to 16. Let's have a look at the key moment in the previous rack. Alex Kazakis had worked so hard to put himself into a position to get to the hill. He left himself this on the 8. And when the 9 didn't come to his rescue, there was only ever going to be one outcome. Skyler Woodward, who's just turned into a winning machine over the last few days, did the rest from there. He's looking for his 7th win in a row.
Mr. Woodward to break.
And he breaks at 3-3.
How much punishment will that mistake from Kazakis cost him? Well, it's a dry break, so he's back to the table in quick time. Can he play a 1-8 combination to start this rack off?
Looks to be on. Should know better Well, we didn't quite see where they finished there. I was going to say, get a better view from the overhead.
Bounced out of his chair, didn't he, Michael?
Yeah, it was on. So moments after missing another 8 into the same pocket. He's more successful this time. I'll tell you what, wherever David O'Cady's watching, he must be going through something here, because the whole situation has changed so sharply, so many times. Nothing he can do about it.
Well, I would think SVB will be on one table, Shaw will be on the other practice table, and they'll all be sweating this match on the TV next to the practice room, talking about it.
Yeah, and that is the one match we still have. They're both through, Shane Van Boning and Jason Shaw. But what a treat that is to end phase 2.
Yeah, it seems only fitting that the top of this leaderboard is stacked with Moscone Cup legends, so we may as well finish with the biggest match of all. Shaw SVB up next. This is thin. It's not easy to land on the 3 ball. There's a lot of balls. Oh, he's overcooked it. He's overcooked it.
And he's left it. So many things have happened in the last few minutes. The Kazakis will replay in his head over and over again over the coming days. If he doesn't get through, we'll replay that one on the screen.
This is not guaranteed, though. Oh, that is a shot. He's going to need another good one, though. He can get there. He can play this. Well, he can play it a couple of ways, but the main thing is he's got a pot on the 3 ball. If it's going to go wrong, you feel like it could go wrong here. Look at Kazakis in his chair, slumped to the side, head on his hand. But it's not over yet, pal. It's 3-3. Skyler's got a tough shot. Yes, he's got a tough shot. Didn't want to kiss the 5 ball. And I don't think the bank shot is on. So I think Skyler's going to be ducking, playing safe. Yeah, what he's looking at there is if he hits just above the middle pocket, he's looking at where he thinks the 4's going to go. If he thinks the 4's going to miss the 7, that's the shot he's playing. Well, he'd love to find that gap. Now, can Kazakis chase the 9? Can he chase the 9? Can he bank it into the top right? There's a couple of options. It's getting tense. And we know Kazakis, well, we know he feels it.
10 seconds.
Is he chasing the 9 here? Is he trying to draw off that bottom rail? He went for it. The cheeky devil went for it.
The fact that there's no match going on the other table only adds to the tension out there. Of course, Woodward has plenty to play for himself. He's looking to put himself in the best possible position going into tomorrow. But really, it's all about Kazakis. He's the story here. You can tell he's feeling it.
This is rack ball. If he pots this, he should clear the table. If the cue ball slows up. Not quite held up, has it? He's very good at banking the ball, but you've got to be accurate on this table. If he can cut the ball up the rail, that's the shot he'll play. He's overcooked it. He has overcooked it, so Kazakis, he's going to get out of his chair. He's not played good in this match, but he's about to get himself on the hill.
Oh, you could write a novel about this match. Let's see it again. The Woodward shot. Katie's emotions somewhere in the building. Flip the switch again.
He's not scratched in the side, surely. Wow.
He's given us our money's worth here. But this is nice. Should have no problems.
It's going to be Kazakis to get to the hill first, and he's breaking in the next.
Opportunity knocks for Alexander Kazakis, one rack away from securing his place in that final stage. He'd love to secure his place in the Mosconi Cup team. He's been there a couple of times before, hasn't worked out for him. Will he be there? Will Skyler Woodward be there? And it all begins on the 30th of November at Bally's Las Vegas. First time it's been in the States for 3 years after a couple of back-to-back stagings in the UK during the COVID situation. So tickets will be on sale this coming Thursday. As ever, go to matchroompool.com. All the details you need are there. If you're based in the States, or if you fancy making the journey there. An event that just grows and grows. Just briefly looking ahead to that match between Van Bonen and Shaw, which is coming up after this. That's basically the start of phase 3, really, isn't it? Because we'll know then which 6 players are going through, and then it's all about trying to earn points to get into the semi-finals. But that's all to come. Right now, that man wants to get another win. He's hungry for them still. Been coming into the media centre after every match, asking the questions, where am I now? Can I still finish first? How many more wins do I need? Kazakis knows he needs one more win, and now he only needs one more rack.
Yeah, and what is this rack going to give Kazakis? Is he going to get a roadmap? Or is he not? A roadmap is what we call in the game a finish where it's like a 50 out of 50. But he hasn't got a roadmap. He's got work to do. Again, the push out is not an obvious one. Seems to be the story of this match. The push outs have been a little tricky.
Push down cold.
10 seconds.
So Woodward, your option?
Now, what's the thinking there, Carl?
Good question. I don't know what Kazakis is thinking, to be quite honest. I don't know if the pocket where the blue 2 is sat is a big pocket. If it is, you could kind of just hit that rail before the 1 with left spin and pot it. I don't think you can scratch in the bottom left. Maybe you can. Yeah, that's what he's tried, hasn't he? So it's not a bad push out, is it? He's tempting his opponent. He's done that a couple of times in this match. Kind of teasing him. You play it, or I'm going to play it, buddy. Yeah, you could see. So it was a big pocket. Look where the blue 2 is there. So he's forced the mistake.
This is it then. Alexander Kazakis has worked so hard. He's had his ups and downs across the 7 days. But this is the moment for him. This is when we find out if he can join that stellar list of names for the final day.
He could be forgiven watching, thinking, well, Skyler's already through, he doesn't care. But he does care, because he wants the point. Moving forward to tomorrow, this point could be very valuable. 6 players are left tomorrow. And after the all play, we're going to be left with the top 4 for the semi-finals. Well, that wasn't convincing. You can always tell, Michael, can't you, where the ball goes in the pocket, and it went off the jaw. Still went in, but whenever when you set up to that shot, you're supposed to be aiming centre pocket. Cue ball's got a bit of travelling to do now. He's got to make sure he puts a good stroke on this. He's got to miss the 7. Well, he's got to be happy with that. I'm not convinced he played through the gap of them 2 balls. No way.
We knew, didn't we, when he came to the table, it wasn't going to be straightforward.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of hope for David if the 7 ball doesn't pass the 8. If it doesn't, he's got to play for the 7 in the other corner, and it can go wrong. It's all about pace. Looks pretty tidy to me. It looks very tidy indeed. 3 balls left. We'll see you tomorrow.
Credit to David O'Cady. He was having a nightmare run yesterday, but he won all of his last 4 matches, including the 3 that he played today. He couldn't have given more this Sunday in Milton Keynes. The final 6 will be Joshua Filler, Skyler Woodward, Albin Ocean, Jason Shaw, Shane Van Boning, and Alexander Kazakis. He has beaten Skyler Woodward, ending the Americans' run of 6 wins in a row. It's finished 5 racks to 3. A great effort from Alexander Kazakis. A memorable match full of drama. Kazakis through, David O'Cady out, Shane Van Boning and Jason